Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Likeable Leaders, a special edition of Likeable Leaders, the first in a series of interviews with my fellow speakers at the upcoming Listening and Beyond Summit in New York City, July 29th and 30th. I hope you all that are watching on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, and that are listening on Clubhouse are going to join me at the Listening and Beyond Summit, July 29th and 30th in New York City. For more information, you can go to listeningandbeyond.com and learn more about the conference. In the meantime, I am so delighted that our very first speaker in this series is Miss Molly Dare Hillenbrand. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about her and then welcome her to the show. So Molly is a super accomplished PR expert. She's known for her powerhouse PR skills, has owned Hillenbrand Media since 2017, helping to promote entrepreneurs, business owners, and media personalities through social media segments, on-camera interviews, and podcast episodes of the very popular On Air with Molly Dare. She's known for her work both in front of and behind the camera. She's done nationwide segments for the Eye On channel, has an incredible work ethic, has been featured in numerous publications, including recently on the cover of Formidable Woman magazine. She is a very sought after guest on podcasts and speakers. And yet her most important role, and I love this because fatherhood is very, very important to me. Her most important role is being a single mom to two wonderful, talented, and beautiful daughters. I've gotten to see them on social media, and it's been really just a great pleasure getting to know Molly better on Clubhouse and on social media. Please welcome to the Likeable Leaders Show, Miss Molly Dare Hillenbrand. It is truly great to have you here, and I'm excited to interview you. So tell me about how you made the leap into entrepreneurship, and one mistake that you've learned along the way as an entrepreneur. That's helped. That's one mistake that's helped you learn and grow as an entrepreneur. Yeah, I love that. I think delegation is one of the biggest challenges that entrepreneurs face. It's probably the single biggest thing that I see in the many entrepreneurs and small business owners that I've worked with through the years. So I appreciate hearing that. By the way, are you familiar with the Enneagram at all? Because my wife is an Enneagram 2, and some of what you said reminds me quite a bit of her. I'm going to send you my favorite version of the Enneagram after this. And the reason I thought specifically of Enneagram 2 and my wife Molly is that she has built her brand, uh, lifting up women and women entrepreneurs and writing about them and helping showcase them and focus on them. And I think that that's somewhat of a sort of typical when twos become leaders, they are often lifting others up, which it sounds like you have been able to do, which is wonderful. By the way, Christina, my apprentice that normally is my producer, normally helps give away prizes. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to give away prizes as I always do, and copies of your choice of any of my books, Likeable Social Media, Likeable Business, or The Art of People. The way you win is by commenting on the LinkedIn. I just will not be able to announce winners live, but if you are watching or listening and you want to win a book, simply comment on the LinkedIn stream as we simulcast this on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Clubhouse. I'm telling you, I don't think anyone else on the planet does this, but we like to do it. Lots of people can now hear and see Molly and me. Molly, let's talk about Clubhouse actually for a moment. You're one of the first people I met on Clubhouse, started listening to. I love what you're doing with it. Tell me your favorite thing about Clubhouse and your least favorite thing about Clubhouse, and tell me how one can avoid wasting time and making sure that the time that they're spending on Clubhouse is time well spent. I absolutely love that. And I agree with you. I also spent some poorly. I wasted some time early on in Clubhouse, and I'm being much more intentional about how I spend my time. You mentioned the Listening and Beyond Summit, and you are of course the very first of our special Likeable Leaders Listening and Beyond Summit speaker series here on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. So tell me this. What is one thing, you are one of our featured speakers at the summit. What is one thing that summit attendees will learn or connect with you on, or be inspired by you about at the summit? What is one specific area of expertise that you will be sharing with folks in New York City, July 29th and 30th? Love it. And while failure is sometimes hard to talk about, it's also really valuable. And certainly my entrepreneurial mindset is really, really valuable, because we can either be held back by our failures, or we can use them to learn and move forward, fail forward, as you said. Tell me a little bit about the Spotlight series. That sounds super interesting. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing there. Awesome. Awesome. If you're just joining us, we are live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Clubhouse. I think I'm the only person that tries to simulcast on all four at once, because it's kind of crazy. We are live with Molly Hillenbrand, the founder of Hillenbrand Media, the executive producer of the Spotlight series, the host of the On Air with Molly Dare podcast, and one of the speakers at the upcoming Listening and Beyond Summit in New York City that I am really, really excited to be, I guess, hosting, producing, I don't, speaking at myself, welcoming people to my amazing favorite city in the world, New York. I'm going to give a chance to the people that are watching and listening to ask questions in just a moment. Also want to remind folks that if they share a comment or a question on LinkedIn, you will enter to win one of my books, and I will choose a winner after the show. I super duper promise. But before we do turn to anyone that's watching or listening for questions, Molly, what I want to ask you, and it's not fair that women get asked this and men don't, but I'm just saying it anyway. And I ask men too, by the way, but most interviewers do not, admittedly. One thing that's really impressed me about you is how you are unabashedly a mom. Not that it should be a big thing, but it is, because I think a lot of mom entrepreneurs, mom thought leaders are, sort of like a little anxious or more reserved about sharing their kids and their families. And you've been, I would say, I don't know, a very healthy percentage of the social media that I see from you is really it's your daughters and it's your time with them, and I love that about you. How do you think about both the time you spend building your business versus being a mom, and how you share that out to social? I mean, how intentional is that? How do you think about both of those questions? Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Of course, only now am I seeing the audio on LinkedIn is not coming through from you, Molly, which I'm so sorry about. And of course, the first time I try to do a show without my apprentice, Christina, as the producer, and this happens, and I'm not sure why, but it's too late. So we're just going to continue. And I apologize to our LinkedIn viewers. Maybe we can dub in the audio afterwards. We'll have to see. I'm going to try to figure that out.
All right, I just changed my speaker settings too.
Let me ask you this. What is your most important goal for the rest of 2021? And then I'm going to open it up to questions. Flash your mic if you're on Clubhouse and you have a question for Molly before we wrap. Okay, so we will go to Lisa. Very good. What is your most important goal for the rest of 2021?
I think my goal for 2021 is to make the best attempt I can to be present where I'm at, because these next 3 months, these next 12 weeks are the busiest of my entire year. So if I can get through these next 12 weeks and still have my kids loving me and still have this show produced and my friends still talking to me, I will have succeeded. My goal is that wherever I'm at, whether that's with my kids, whether that's on location, whether it's with people that matter to me, whether it's at the summit, that I am 100% there and present, enjoying the moment, giving it my best and giving it my all. Because I feel that if I can be that person, even though sometimes people try to give the same hours to each, and I find that that's an endless battle that I can't win. So where I can win is choosing to be present during that time that I am there. So if I can do that, I will feel that I have accomplished my goal.
I love that, and a very, very challenging thing to do in today's world and with smartphones and electronic devices, to be totally present, but nonetheless a very worthy and admirable goal. I absolutely love it. Molly Dare, Hillenbrand, executive producer of the Spotlight series, founder of Hillenbrand Media, and host of the On Air with Molly Dare podcast, and speaker at the Listening and Beyond, featured speaker at the Listening and Beyond Summit in New York. It's actually on your birthday, I believe, that you're speaking. I'm so fortunate that you're spending your birthday with us. That's wonderful. Okay, we had a question before we wrap from Lisa. Lisa, what is your question for Molly?
Thanks, Dave. Hi, Molly. Molly, I just adore you and think you're amazing. So I was like, which question should I ask? So being a mom of a teen, I want to know, what's your favorite tradition with your girls that you keep carrying on no matter what? Because our lives are crazy busy, and it's always a struggle to fit in family time. So I want to know, what things you always hold on to that you love to do with them.
Lisa, that is a great question. And it ties into my previous statement too. Every summer, up until this past summer, because we couldn't, we pick a city, a place, a location that we road trip to from Florida together. And then we act as tourists for the 6 weeks that we're there. So it's been Boston, New York, Chicago. They secretly don't know I'm actually there working. So I do tie that in. I'm usually producing something while I'm there. But really, after I wrap for the day, whatever, we pick a new spot in the city, we explore it, we go to a new restaurant, a new town, and it's my favorite. I look forward to it all year. It's my favorite time with my girls. Sometimes they're a little like, oh my God, do we have to do this again? But I know when they look back, they'll remember those moments and those experiences. We were supposed to go to California last summer, which unfortunately we didn't get to, but we're going to road trip from San Francisco down to LA. So I'm going to see if I can fit that in at the very end of this summer.
Thanks, Molly. That's a beautiful one. And I love that you guys do that. So thank you.
Awesome. And just like that, I can't believe how quickly we're out of time. I know a lot of folks do clubhouse rooms for hours and hours and hours, but I, as you guys can see, I prefer the short and sweet. And so I want to thank our guest, Molly Dare Hillenbrand, for joining us, founder of Hillenbrand Media, executive producer of the Spotlight series, and host of the On Air with Molly Dare podcast. You can learn more about her at mollydare.com. That's mollydare.com. Is the I'm guessing the / Hillenbrand is not necessary, but they can learn even more at / Hillenbrand.
That is specific to the Spotlight series, but mollydare.com is everything, the podcast and everything.
Fantastic. And if you all want to learn more about the Listening and Beyond Summit, you can send me a DM or Molly a DM with the word Summit, SUMMIT. We will tell you all about the Listening and Beyond Summit in New York City, July 29th and 30th. Thank you so much, Molly, for joining me today. I really appreciate you. Thank you to everyone that was watching and listening and is watching on the recording. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, have a super likable rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you, everybody. I think that was my fault that it